Dark Souls 3 is a vast and beautifully detailed game, filled with various types of enemies, weapons, spells, miracles, and armor sets. This truly gives the player ownership and a connection to their character. With 18 different weapon classes to utilize and 77 sets of armor to mix and match, you rarely will see people with your exact build, weapon, and armor set. Going into the player versus player aspect of the game, you begin to realize not all weapons and armors are equal or even useful in one-on-one combat. But this begs the question, what weapons are considerably better in PvP? Greatsword, or alternately known as the Fugs, lands number 10 on my list due to its massive output it can deal in as little as 3 hits. Boasting a massive attack rating of 260, this thing can easily one-shot invaders and ill-prepared opponents. While there are plenty of other Ultra Greatswords with comparable stats at lower requirements, the Fugs takes the cake with its ridiculous long reach and ability to be buffed to take its damage output through the roof. On top of having a massive damage output coupled with buffing abilities, the Fugs has terrific hyper armor, being broken only by the largest weapon classes like great axes and great swords. Although it deals monstrous damage, the Fugs' downfall comes with its speed and precision being completely outmatched by quickstep weapon art and straight swords. Along with its unreliable speed, the Fugs was patched in version 1.03, reducing its total damage output by almost 12%, rendering it much more rare to see in the arena nowadays. The Onikiri and Ubadachi are a terrifying set of twin katanas that you don't want to encounter in the arena. If played correctly, these blades will rob you of your health bar in mere seconds, inducing bleed while stun locking you for several deadly strikes. The Onikiri and Ubadachi land number 9 on my list because of their versatility, combination potential, and speed. These weapons can be buffed with the Custis Rouge to boost the bleed rating to 42, inducing bleed in as little as 4 hits, and slays invaders with ease by stringing together multi-hit combinations in a quick fashion. While this weapon set is incredible, it is highly susceptible to parries and can be outclassed by any weapon with a longer reach like spears, halberds, and ultra greatswords. Overall, the Onikiri and Ubadachi are not to be taken lightly and can end a match in the blink of an eye. When the Dragon Slayer's Sword Spear enters the arena, the thought I keep in my mind is, respect the lightning. The Sword Spear lands at number 8 on this list as it boasts a respectable attack rating of 234, with inherent lightning damage and a devastating weapon art that can be very hard to dodge. The weapon art, Falling Bolts, has very precise player tracking and strikes with massive lightning damage that staggers the opponent, making it a great option to force your opponent into making a mistake. What makes this weapon superior and unique is its massive reach and dual weapon class moveset. This weapon has a spear style R1 attacks with halberd moveset for running R1s and R2s, making this weapon incredibly difficult to get close to. The only true downside I have found with this weapon is its lack of ability to take multiple enemies during invasions. To this day, I personally still have not found any tried and true way to overcome this weapon in a one-on-one battle, making it a very respectable and dangerous tool. The Exile Greatsword is elegant yet brutal as it hacks your opponents away in a hurricane of spinning slashes. The Exile Greatsword lands number 7 on my list because of its ability to inflict massive amounts of damage in seconds with executing the proper combinations. The Exile Greatsword can be buffed to increase its output damage exponentially and nearly one-shot opponents with ease. The weapon art Spin Slash on this sword twirls the user about, striking everything in a 360-degree radius of the character, causing stun lock on opponents while eating away massive chunks of health with each landed strike. The only lacking area of this weapon would be its range and its unusually staggerable poise. By using weapons like spears or ultra great swords, R1 pokes can break hyper armor, leaving you vulnerable to incoming attacks, thus exiling this greatsword once again. The Dragon Slayer axe is easily one of the most formidable foes in the PvP world, leading with a massive 364 attack rating, including the inherent lightning damage. This weapon is a prime one-shot machine. The Dragon Slayer Great Axe lands number 6 on my list and is easily one of my overall favorite weapons in the Dark Souls world due to its amazing looks and its massive damage output potential. This weapon includes the whole package as it has fantastic hyper armor frames for all attacks, has an unstaggerable weapon art, and has faster R1s and R2 attacks than most ultra great swords. Where this weapon truly shines is its ability to play mind games with your opponent. Baiting your opponent in with R1s and leading into a weapon art absolutely decimates most PvPers and one-shots invaders if stricken with the axe and lightning. Overall, the Dragon Slayer Great Axe is a phenomenal weapon capable of dealing insane damage in one single hit, but can easily be outclassed by smaller, faster weapons if not utilized correctly. The Gargoyle Flints Fear brings the whole package with it to the table, making it a very formidable weapon to duel against. The Gargoyle Flints Fear lands at number 5 on this list as it sports one of the most impressive ranges of its class, while including inherent fire damage to make for a difficult weapon to get around. With precise hitbox utilization, this becomes a deadly weapon, keeping just about anyone at bay while including chip damage on great shields, making it a great tool to apply pressure. This weapon is, in my opinion, a great weapon to use when first getting into PvP, as it offers a lot of lenience for people learning and adjusting to the PvP from PvE, by requiring very little dodging or evading, but can be overcome by staggering attack patterns and remaining unpredictable. Fist weapons have always been the subject of satire in the Dark Souls universe, as they display pitiful damage output with virtually no range whatsoever. Well, the times have changed and the Custis is number 4 on the list. The Custis ranks so high on the list for one reason and one reason only: combinations. The combination potential with the Custis is unfucking believable in PvP scenario. Having been recently buffed with the longer lasting Perseverance weapon art in the version 1.11 patch, this weapon has easily climbed its way to the top, allowing players to continuously stagger opponents in strings of combos that inflict massive damage. When pairing the Custis with the Old Wolf Curved Sword, Pontiff left and right eye rings, and the Dark Moon Blade Miracle buff, this weapon easily becomes capable of taking out your opponent in a Mike Tyson style fashion, leaving opponents feeling hopeless and lethargic as they eat punch after punch to the face with no room to fight back. The Custis is easily a top tier weapon for experienced players and is considered a formidable weapon and to anything, in my opinion. Oh, the things I can say about the Brigand Twin Daggers. These daggers are easily one of the top weapons in the PvP world if played correctly. These weapons are number 3 on my list because they require enormous amounts of concentration, practice, and skill to master, but become easily one of the most useful tools for destroying the opponent in a heartbeat. These daggers are best paired with a Carthus Rouge buff and Carthus Blood Ring to begin inducing bleed and stacking pressure while also utilizing the weapon art quick step to maneuver around your opponent easily, while negating all incoming attacks with amazing invincibility frames. While the daggers can serve as fantastic primary weapons, the daggers are best carried in a secondary slot and used when the opponent's health is low enough to die in a few hits. This closes the gap that appears when a player's health is low and leaves no time to respond or attack. These weapons can easily overcome just about any weapon if played correctly. With the weapon art and small stab attacks, it is truly only challenged by the Custis, curved swords, and rapiers. Are you really so surprised the washing pole landed at the number 2 spot of a PvP meta weapons list? The washing pole is easily the most versatile weapon in the game, making it an all-time favorite amongst the PvP community. This katana stands above the rest as having the second highest overall attack rating of all katanas, sporting a spear length while also having the exact speed and precision as other katanas. Coupling with its supreme moveset, it also has a very useful weapon art that allows the player to parry without the need for an offhand or to perform a lunging slash attack, adding for a variety of moves to look out for. The only downside to the washing pole is its exploitable parry weakness on all attacks, including the weapon art lunge attack. Looking like it came straight out of a Final Fantasy VII game, this sword makes for a very difficult opponent as it has every needed aspect to achieve PvP perfection: length, damage output, Swiss Army weapon art, and inherent bleed to keep the pressure on the foe. Here it is, boys. We finally introduced our number 1 PvP meta weapon that is considered, in my opinion, the best weapon for one-on-one duels. It has earned its number 1 spot on this list against all my better judgment. If I'm being honest, I'd never used this weapon until a few weeks back due to the fact that it was my most resented weapon in the PvP world. Every time I fought this weapon, I would get absolutely destroyed by it sending me into a deeper hate, thus distancing myself from the opportunity of trying it out. However, my mind was swayed only recently when I participated in a PvP tournament where the runner-up and champion were both players using it, and won by a landslide every match. My number 1 choice for all meta tier PvP weapons is the Black Knight Glaive. The Black Knight Glaive, or BKG, lands number 1 in my list due to its massive damage output, reach, combination potential, and hyper armor. Never before have I seen a weapon that can overpower and crumble foes to their knees in a flurry of deadly spins and slashes. This weapon can deal up to 1200 damage in as little as 4 hits, and has the potential to stagger opponents even if they're just out of range of hitbox. The BKG has one of the most impressive reaches of all halberds and is capable of breaking hyper armor on most weapons larger than itself. While this weapon is immaculately capable of breaking hyper armor, it comes included with hyper armor on par with most large weapons, allowing them to simultaneously inflict multi-hit combos while their opponent strikes once or twice. When using this weapon, true combos such as R2 into R1 into L2 into R2 can hit massive damage and even be repeated depending on the amount of stamina allotted on your build. So far, I have not seen a weapon that can overcome the BKG with 100% certainty in a one-on-one situation. And even worse, the BKG is godlike during invasions as the weapon art has a 360-degree radius. Overall, the Black Knight Glaive is a true wonder to watch and can easily remain the top PvP weapon for a while until a new victor emerges. Hey guys, I just want to say thank you so much for checking out my video. I put a lot of hard work into it and I had a lot of fun doing it, doing the narrating, playing the game, doing the video editing. It was just an awesome experience. If you can guys go below and drop a like or comment, let me know what you might want to see in the future. that'd be awesome, so I'd know what else to make for you guys. Alright, well, thank you for checking in. I'm checking out for today. I'm Dabber Dan. You guys have a fucking good day today.